Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel, Preacher Moto Man. Hey listen, I did learn that I'm not the only one that's changed the name of my channel and changed it more than once. A couple of guys that I follow, Cycle Fanatics and Holy Shift, S-H-I-F-T, have gone through name changes as well, and now both are very popular moto vlogs. I recommend them to you. But welcome to the channel. I hope that while you're here that you will give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. It's free. Just hit that subscribe button. As a matter of fact, if you're on a phone, if you'll hold that phone up and down, portrait style, right under this video, down there to the right, you should see a subscribe button. Just touch it. That's all it takes. It's done. Subscribe, thumbs up. Hit the bell icon if you want to get notifications whenever we drop another video. Share, comment, share, and comment. Well, we're having a lot of rain here in South Alabama. We're just getting the tails of Hurricane Ida. We did not get a hit from Hurricane Ida, but one of our brothers and one of the subscribers of this channel, and his handle is Human Being. I like that. Human Being. He did comment on one of my videos and said that his home was right in the path of this storm, and that by the time I get this video out, he already knows what the condition of his home is, more than likely. But he said, I hope that I still have a home when I get back. And so, Human Being, my thoughts and my prayers have been with you and anyone else that's in the path of this storm. Now going all the way up to north, headed towards New Jersey. And going to be a lot of rain and a lot of flooding. And so take care. But it's been raining on and off. It's just kind of light rain right now. There's light rain right now, and at times it just pours. It's been raining all day long. Why you should sell your Harley Davidson today. Got my orange drink. It didn't come in this bottle. I poured some orange drink in an empty bottle. I drink these coconut drinks and I love them. And I was needing something cold to drink, and I had this empty bottle, and there was some of this drink in the fridge, sugar-free, that my wife makes. So that's pretty tasty. I love my bike. Now let me tell you a little bit about my motorcycle history. I haven't been riding motorcycles my whole adult life. I rode motorcycles as a teenager with friends, not my motorcycle. My daddy wouldn't let me have a motorcycle. He said, boy, as long as you live in my house, you will not have a motorcycle. And I understand that. Now as a father and a papa, I understand that. And then life just kind of happened. I had a family, had children, got big and fat, used to weigh almost 400 pounds. And, life just kind of happened. And then got all the kids out, got the kids through, the two girls through their education. They're married, they got their own homes, their own family, their own everything. And I always told them when they would tell me that they were grown up, that and I would say, or they would say, I'm an adult, while they were still living with me. I'd say, no. When you're living in your own house and you're paying your own bills, then you're an adult. I didn't cut them any slack. One day I said to Felicia, I think I was 51, maybe 52 years old. I had lost a bunch of weight. I still wasn't as small as I am now, but I had lost some weight. And I need to lose some more weight, by the way, because you may be looking at me going, well, you're a big old fat boy now. You didn't know me when. You didn't know me when. 400 pounds. Anyway, I said to Felicia one day, I said, I want a motorcycle, and expecting her to go, you're not getting a motorcycle. And She said, well, baby, go get you a motorcycle. 2 days later, I had my first bike. It was a 2006 Yamaha V-Star 1100. I thought it was the greatest bike on the face of the earth. That's the way it ought to be. That's the way it ought to be. I loved it. It was beautiful. It was just plain black, had some soft bags on it, and I loved it. And I rode that bike for a little while, and then I got a 2006 Kawasaki Vulcan 1600. Man, you talking about a sweet bike. I love that bike. If I could find that bike or one like it, if I could find that bike, I'd go buy it today. But I sold it to a guy. I called him one day and said, hey, you still got that bike? I want to buy it back from you. He said, I just traded it in 2 days ago at the Harley dealership in Destin, Florida. I called the Harley dealership in Destin, Florida. They said, we just loaded it up on a trailer full of used motorcycles. It's been wholesale. We don't know where it went. It's gone. Now, I think I saw that motorcycle at Deal's Gap at the Tail of the Dragon, but it might have just been one that was just like it. Could have been. Well, after I sold that bike, or before I sold the bike, the reason I sold that bike is because I had bought a Harley Davidson. My first Harley Davidson bike was a Street Glide with a tour pack on it. Now, what is the official name of that bike? You can tell me in the comments. Is it a Street Glide Ultra, or is it just a Street Glide with a tour pack on it? Anyway, I didn't know it was a Street Glide when I bought it. I didn't know the difference between all these bikes. I didn't know an Electra Glide, an Ultra Limited, and a Street Glide. All I knew is that it was a Harley Davidson, and it had one of those big comfy seats that my wife wanted. And I bought that bike. It was root beer colored. I still have the lowers to it, the lower fairings to it down here under my shelves. I had taken them off, and the bike's gone, and the fairings are still here. And then I bought a 2008 Electra Glide. It was blue. What a beautiful bike. I knew I was going to buy that bike. The day I bought that bike, I found it on the Facebook Marketplace. I drove to this guy's house. He lives about 45 minutes from me. I drove to this guy's house. When I pulled into his driveway, he had this beautiful home. His yard was immaculate. Flowers, shrubs were trimmed, everything. There was no discord, nothing negative about his yard. And then I drove up to his shop, and he opened the door, and the inside of that shop was everything was just in its place. It wasn't unorganized. It was like a picture that you'd see in a magazine of a shop. And when I saw his yard and I saw his shop, I said, I'm behind this motorcycle. I hadn't even really seen it yet but I said, if a man takes care of his stuff like that, I want to buy a motorcycle from him. And I did. I bought a 2008 Electra Glide, blue, beautiful bike. That thing had Python pipes on it. It sounded amazing. What a beautiful bike. And it had some age on it. And one day Felicia said, I want you to get a newer bike. And I was a little bit reluctant. There's a video that tells that whole story. You can go back and watch that. I was a little bit reluctant, but I went and traded that 2008. It wasn't the anniversary edition, but it was a 2008. And I traded it in on my now 2020 Ultra Limited Black Beauty. And I believe, and I'm looking this way because Black Beauty is sitting over here out of the picture. I believe that Black Beauty, when I go on a ride with my friends, whether there's 5 bikes or 50 bikes, I think my bike is the most awesome, beautiful bike out there. And that's the way it ought to be. Now, I like it when someone admires my bike. And I'll say this, I haven't gotten as many compliments on this black bike as I did the 2008 that I had. Man, that guy had put, it had updated derby covers, gas tank cover. I mean, he had done some stuff to that bike, and I got the most compliments out of that bike. And I don't get that many compliments out of this bike. This is just a black Harley Davidson, and there's tons of them, gazillions of them. But I'm convinced that my bike is when I go on a ride with a bunch of guys, My bike is the prettier. My bike is prettier than your Indian, your Victory, and your Harley Davidson. But guys, that's the way I just think that's the way it ought to be. If you're riding a motorcycle out of pleasure. Out of pleasure. See, it does matter to me when somebody says, hey man, that's a sharp bike you got there. Kind of throw my chest out and I say, well, thank you. I'm proud of it. And I compliment other guys' bikes. When I see guys on a bike, I always try to compliment the bike unless it just absolutely cannot be complimented. So it's important to me that other people recognize that I have a pretty bike. But more important than that is, what do I think about it? What do I think about it? I didn't buy that bike to please other people. I didn't buy that bike for other people. I bought it for me. And Felicia, I call this her bike. I bought this bike for Felicia. All right? And as a pleasure rider, okay, I don't need my motorcycle right now. I don't need it for a daily rider. I don't need it to go to work. Some of you in that position, so it don't matter what kind of motorcycle you got or what it looks like. It's just transportation. It gets you from point A to point B, from home to work and back home. Rain or shine, hot or cold, you're on that motorcycle. I get that, but I'm not talking about that person. I'm talking about that person who is a pleasure, who is a motorcycle enthusiast. You should think that your motorcycle is the best. If you don't think it's the best, sell it and go get you one that you do. Now, don't get all huffy with me about that. But there is another group of people that absolutely, positively. See, there are these people that go buy these expensive motorcycle Harleys. They take them home, they park them in the garage or the garage, as some of my Great Britain subscribers would say. Garage. Love you guys. Glad to have you on the channel. They just park it. They don't ride it. They get on it once in a blue moon, ride around the block 3 or 4 times. And they don't ride them. It's just a waste that they even have a motorcycle. I sat on a motorcycle when I was shopping for motorcycles. I sat on a used ultra limited low. I was looking at a low because I'm not real short. I'm about 5'11", which is not tall by any measure of the imagination. But my legs are short. If my legs matched my body, I'd be 2 inches taller. I'd be 6'1", 6'2", like my dad and my son. But I sat on this ultra limited low that was 2 years old, and it had like 1,100 miles on it. 2 years old. And I asked the sales guy that day. I said, "Who does this? Who does this? Maybe it was something bad happened, and I'm not the judge of that. Maybe somebody bought the bike and then they became ill and they were not able to sell it. Maybe they passed away and their family sold it and put it back into the market. Maybe. But the guy told me, he said, you would be surprised how many people buy these motorcycles and take them home. They don't ride them. Then they come back with them with 1,000 miles on them and trade them in for another bike when they're a couple of years old. Well, if you're rich, but did you know in this COVID environment, and I hate the word COVID, I hate the word, I've never seen more people seriously ill. I've never seen more people that I know dying. Guys, we got to pray that this COVID curse is broken. But in this COVID has affected almost in the marketplace, almost everything. And did you know that there is a shortage of vehicles out there now, that the price of vehicles has increased, has inflated because of the shortage that is out there? And it's the same with motorcycles. There is a shortage of motorcycles. Your used motorcycle is worth more money now than it was back before COVID hit. Why? Because there's a shortage of motorcycles. At most dealerships, I can't speak of all dealerships, but I know this, at Pensacola Harley, at the Harley Davidson shop in Pensacola, that they have this big wide parking lot that before COVID would be just packed full of used bikes. just packed full. All the way across. 2 big tents that would have to be full of bikes, and then out in the open, they couldn't get them all under the tents. All of these motorcycles, I mean, just, you know, I don't think it would be an exaggeration to say that typically out front of that dealership, they had 100 bikes, 150 bikes. It could have been more than that. It might have been less. A lot of bikes. And I visited Pensacola Harley the other day to go buy some poker chips for some of you. And the parking lot was empty. And there was one tent that had some pre-owned motorcycles under it, and that was it. There's such a shortage. But now there's a shortage of pre-owned bikes. And so if you got a motorcycle that you're not riding, you should sell it today, because when the environment, when the market changes, the value of your bike is going to go back down. But the value of your bike is probably more than you've even considered today. So you should sell your motorcycle today. If you're not riding your motorcycle, you should sell it. The market is ripe. Sell your motorcycle today. Now listen, I'm not a market, I make no claims to be an expert about anything. I'm not an expert I'm not an economic expert. All I know is I'm just a guy who observes, and I have talked to people, and I have read some articles on the fact that there's a shortage of all vehicles and motorcycles, and it's driving the price of pre-owned vehicles and motorcycles. It's driving the value of them up. So you could sell your motorcycle today. Take it to your local dealership. Tell them you want to sell it. Ask them what they'll give you for it. When they give you a price, no matter what they say no way, I'm not selling it for that. See what they do then. You might be surprised. You might be surprised. So, listen, I bought something else for the Black Beauty. I ordered this morning off of Amazon the smoked reflectors for the saddlebag latches. I'm going to be putting them on in a few days. Cost me a whopping $6.99 plus a little bit of tax, because I'm an Amazon Prime member. I got free shipping. They're going to be here. This is Monday. They're going to be here Saturday. And so I'm going to be adding that. Always looking for ways to do little things to improve the bike and to step it up a notch. And so I'm going to be sharing that with you. Also, I'm trading poker chips. Poker chips. Send me a poker chip. The address is in the description, and the address is correct now. The address is in the description. Send me a poker chip, and as soon as I get it, I'm going to open it on a video. I'm going to show it to my viewers. I'm going to tell them who it came from, and at the same time, I'm going to be sending you a poker chip from Harley Davidson of Pensacola right back to your house. Okay, so let's just have a little bit of fun with that. All right, so like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that stuff. None of it costs anything. Hey, God bless you. I'll see you next time.